Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing very well. Today I'm going to film another video on my journals, tips, tricks, and ideas series, and this will be the second video. And in today's video I'm going to share with you guys what kind of journal and notebook to actually use for your journaling. I'll share with you guys what I started with and where I'm at today. So the first journal I would recommend if you're new to journaling or if you want to try something different is definitely spiral books. This is one of the very first ones I started journaling in. This one was actually my little sister's. When she was like 7 years old, and she had ripped a ton of the pages out, and so then I just she didn't want it anymore, so I took it off her hands and I ripped out the rest of the pages, and then I just single hand punched all the holes in here. I opened the spirals and I made a little journal about her in this journal. So this is a really nice way of just keeping something that was hers and then making it into a memory journal about her. This one was just a regular Hilroy notebook. This is just basically a lined book that all my friends wrote letters in for me and put a bunch of pictures of themselves in, and so definitely recommend something simple like this. These are a little too large for me now, but worth journaling in a super good memory. And then here is just a little one I bought a long time ago when my little niece was very little. She was just born, and I started making a little journal for her. In this little spiral book, I added so many tip-ins and just more of a photo journal, not much journaling, but tons of fun stuff either way. And I definitely recommend playing around with what kind of journals you like. Even made little pop-ups for her. On my last trip to Alberta and BC, I bought these two spiral notebooks, and I'm so excited to use them. I'm actually going to make these into travel journals. I'm so excited to share with you guys how that's going to turn out. I'm going to make it from my trip, from my last trip there, so we'll see how that looks, but excited to try a new style of journaling, so I'll let you guys know as soon as I start that. So number one, I would say just try a regular spiral book. It's very inexpensive. I think you can get these for under $1 still. Pretty sure you can get them at the Dollarama for under $1. Spiral books are great, and you can get them in any size. Very inexpensive and a great way to start journaling. The next journal I recommend is agendas. So yeah, these are all my high school agendas, and this is my very first one that I finished. So I just made a whole bunch of stuff like tip-ins, journaling, quotes, our old Skittles packages, photos, magazine cutouts, even this little drawing, super fun, with my sisters on the stage with this girl I drew. I don't even know. And you can't tell that this is an agenda, but let me see if I can find one. So you can see the days of the week here. I didn't finish these ones. I only finished the one ever. My new ones, I'm going to keep these as well because I have a couple of ideas. I need more space. Here's one I started recently as well. So this is just from 2017 and 2018, and I absolutely love the motivational quotes in here. I just couldn't give up the colors, so these are perfect for doing some journaling. I've only done a couple of pages in here so far, but I will get more done. That's what that would look like. Oh, here's some drawings that my niece did for me. Yeah, so these are super big. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with this one yet, but more of this size is definitely my style for sure. So we're gonna keep these, and we're gonna for sure add some fun stuff into them. Recycling is always a really good way of journaling because it makes you kind of be more creative, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But I absolutely love it, so if I can recycle something, I'm gonna do it. The next type of journal or notebook that I recommend for journaling is a sketchbook. My favorite part about sketchbooks are that you can use any kind of medium. You can use watercolor, paint, ink, pencil crayons even, pens, ink, ballpoint, any kind, and you get all this beautiful different varieties of sizes you can get. It's so versatile, so I definitely recommend trying that out, especially if you're into doodling. You can get hardcover, spiral, anything you really want. Here's one I started like a long time ago when I was in high school, so one of my favorites is that one for sure. And then here's one that I finished with all my mixed media girls, tons of washi tape, all kinds of medium used in this journal, and super versatile, so really fun to play with these. And I can't tell you how many days of just fun playing around with all kinds of different mediums. So highly recommend sketchbooks. They're super fun, all kinds of sizes, and best part is you can use any medium. One of my favorite ways to journal was back when I first started was using my old school high school books, any hardcover books. This is actually a math book. This is a novel I bought years ago as well. And so my first one, you can't really tell it's a school book anymore. Actually, I think it's a geography book. And I have just like a whole bunch of fun stuff in here, like just random things, tip-ins still, magazine cutouts, bunch of collaging, more magazine cutouts, and just, yeah, so really do recommend trying different styles. We had such a fun time growing up, so I always tried to capture all the memories in my school books because I didn't have any money to buy anything, and I didn't know how to make journals at that time, so now I do. So that's one there. And then here's actually a novel. I've never read the book, but I made this one into my kind of just practicing different techniques, watercolor, acrylic paints, and just made this into my little kind of play book. Nothing serious, just light, trying different things out. So really do recommend that as well. And then I'm so excited. When I was at work the other day, I found this little book, and it's the Witch's Wealth spell book. I'm not really into that kind of thing, but I bought it at HomeSense. I'm gonna actually make this into my little journal. I'm gonna do a bunch of layering in here, and I love that it's got gold on the edges, and I'm gonna make this such a fun little book. I might rip out some pages for my other journals. Super excited to use this little journal for that. I could not help but buying it. Like, it's just the cutest thing, like hardcover and everything. So $5, I had to spend it. And then when I was in Japan, my little niece and one of my best friends in the whole world who I met there, we loved going into the old Japanese like little bookstores and stuff. So I bought these two little journals, and I'm actually gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna actually make this into like a drawing sketching journal, and I might rip some of the pages out and add them into my regular journaling. But these books are just so cute. I have no idea what they are, but they have like the very old edging, and there's just I can't describe the texture of the paper, but it's beautiful. So yeah, super excited to use these guys in the future. And then you could also use dictionaries. I use this one often just to rip out pages for my journals, and then I also use it to dry flowers. This one's falling out. A great way to be creative, and if you're not going to journal inside them, you can rip the pages out and use them in your regular journal. So super fun. Can't wait to show you guys these. So now we're into more of the current style of journaling I have. Love bullet journaling. I've been bullet journaling for a couple of years now, or a few years. These books are fantastic. This is my favorite one so far. I love the texture. It's super inexpensive. I bought it at Michael's, and you can I just love drawing and doodling and all that kind of fun stuff. And some people are thinking, oh, that's more of like an agenda. So I use my bullet journal. I always, every month, here's an older one. Let's try this one here. Quick glance. That one doesn't have much. This one has one. I'll show you a page for how you can use this for your daily journaling. So here's an example of how I daily journal in a bullet journal. So I just write down every day of the month, give myself 2 lines or more if you wanted. Doesn't matter how much you want. You could do a whole page if you wanted to as well. So just whatever happens during the day, quick little note of what happened, and it's pretty much done. So I've been doing that for a very long time. This is my 2020 and my 2021 partial journal in here, and then this is my current one, and I'll show you. Here is my January. Some days I didn't journal much. Like here I was in isolation, so nothing's happening but watching YouTube and making books and stuff. And then here's one for February. Pretty much filled out almost every day. Forgot a couple days. Not much going on when you're working full-time, but yeah, so that's a great way to journal as well, and to keep a bullet journal so you keep on track and focused. So I am a big believer of goal setting and, you know, things like that. So very fun and great way to start. If you haven't, you can totally journal in a bullet journal. Another awesome journal to journal in is when you go to like a chapters, or even online, you can find these prompts that you basically they have a prompt for you and you journal about it. And I bought this 5-minute journal a long time ago when it was first released. I stopped using it for a while, but I'm back at it now, so I don't want to show you the pages, but here's kind of what it looks like. So it's basically 5 minutes of journaling a day, a little bit in the morning and the rest at night. It's a really nice way to be super self-aware, but also to be grateful for what you have and what you could do better tomorrow. So really recommend that one. And then here's another one that I kind of thought would be fun to fill out, but I haven't really had a chance to. Filled out a couple of things. I wrote the Backstreet Boys in somewhere. Yeah, here maybe. I don't know. Yeah, here, The Beatles or Rolling Stones? Neither, the Backstreet Boys. So yeah, just a bunch of little things about yourself. It's a great way to just think about like not much, right? So I haven't really used this one, but I do love this one and I just got back into it. So really recommend that one if you're trying, if you have a hard time like thinking about what to journal, this would be a great one to start with. The next journal I recommend is a hardcover notebook. You can find these everywhere. Dollarama is loaded with these. I bought 10 of this one specifically in Mexico because I love the size. They're basically the size of my bullet journal. I love them because they had large grid, but I use these ones for my businesses, like my business info and things like that. And then here's an older one I started a long time ago when I was really into like doodles and drawing and things like that. I even draw little plants in these ones. This is actually one of my sketchbook journals that well, just a notebook, but that I made into a sketchbook even though the paper is lined. I recommend this. Very affordable, very easy to access, and just great to journal in. The next journal I think that might be a good journal is the Moleskine notebook. This one's pretty much full. I did not do any doodles, color, and anything in here. This is basically just writing. Another options very similar to these are like no name brand one. This is actually from Copenhagen. What's the brand? Nomes study book from Copenhagen. And then I actually found some really cute ones in Japan. Like, holy Hannah, these are just absolutely the best little things. They're so fun. You can get them in grid, lined, ruled, plain, anything you want really, and pretty inexpensive. So I usually get my Moleskines at my work. I work at HomeSense, and so I have a problem like anyone who works there. Notebooks are my guilty pleasure. I know. Even though I make my own, I did buy a few. I haven't bought any recently, so these are fairly old. The texture of the papers are just so beautiful. So these are a great option for you if you're starting to journal or continuing to journal. Many people speak very highly of the Moleskines, and I do as well. I've used a few of them now just for my really detailed writing, and not really any color pictures or anything, just writing to get things out of your mind, which is very important for, you know, wellness and things like that. So, and finally, we're on to my favorite, absolute favorite, is the Traveler's Notebook inserts. I make my own. Here's an example of one I just made actually. I made a few of them. So here's the ones that I make and sell on my shop. Here's a recycled traveler's notebook that I absolutely love. And then here's just two that are just bright. Absolutely love these. And here's a couple of examples of full ones. This is a recycled one that would start out like this, super plain, and then it ends up like this with the little envelopes, with the little window, are so cute. And then all that kinds of fun stuff. And here's another envelope here. Love the crinkly sound. But yeah, so I make all my own, and I couldn't tell you how happy I am with these. And I've done so many. I started actually just using these for my travels. Here's one for my Japan journal. Here's just a couple more as well. But I'm so happy I found my size of journal that I'm super in love with, and couldn't be happier too. So this is just absolutely my favorite. Here's what they look like before you journal in them. You can get lined, papered ones. You can get, these ones are all lined. More of my Mexico trips. But yeah, so you can get all these kinds of journals, and definitely my favorite. I stopped using all the other kinds of journals, and now I'm sticking to just these because they fit so well. I can store them in my covers really nicely, and then I can also store them once these are all done in a nice little decorated box and then they're out of the way. So definitely recommend Traveler's Notebooks. You can buy the plain ones pretty much anywhere, Amazon, Etsy, Traveler's Notebook Company, the company itself you can purchase them from. And yeah, so super love these and couldn't recommend them more. And then the last journal I would recommend is using a passport journal. These are absolutely amazing. I am so in love. Here is what a passport journal would look like on the inside. It has a little rectangular on the inside, and then the back page just has an order form, and this is actually an older version. These are all just tiny little passport sizes that you can take anywhere. You can get them with grid, line, plain, all kinds of stuff. Calendar ones even, and I've used so many of these. And if you don't want to buy those, you can totally find them. I found these really gorgeous little Traveler's Notebook size journals in Dollarama, and oh my goodness, I should have bought more. I actually use these when I travel too, kind of like the spiral notebook too. I take this one, just throw it in my bag, and then kind of note what happened during that day, or if I'm traveling I can add some notes and expenses and like all that kinds of fun stuff. So super fun little journals, and very, very tiny, so you can fill them quickly, and just fun overall. So there you have it, guys. There is the 10 notebooks that I would definitely recommend if you are just starting to journal, if you are brand new into journaling, or if you want to try something new. I have tried every style of journal book or notebook to journal in, from my math book in high school to my geography book in high school to all my agendas in high school, and I eventually, after many, many, many years of journaling and finding out what works for me, I have settled on the traveler's notebook inserts that I actually don't purchase anymore. I only ever make my own now, and so in love with them. I have a ton of videos on my channel on me decorating them and journaling in them, and so that is what I'm sticking to now. And also the passport journal. These two are my go-to journals. It took me many years to find it, but in the meantime I had so much fun discovering my journaling style and technique in all the other ones, from the spiral notebooks to the hardcover books to the sketchbooks, math book, agendas, and the list goes on. So I really do hope that this gives you a couple of ideas to try a different style of journaling or a different journal notebook, and or to just start by even grabbing something as little as a notepad. You could journal and draw and add photos in here, and then, you know, fold it in half and make a little notebook into a oh, I'm just getting so many ideas. Anyways, so yeah, definitely recommend. Just these are 10 ideas. I'm sure there's a million more, but this is what I have used in my past life, and I wanted to share that with you guys just to give you a couple of ideas. Anyways, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!